Hey, everybody. Welcome to today's Clear Path Leadercast. Sorry about the quirky start. Video didn't kick on. And here I am live, as I am every Thursday at noon Eastern, providing you with the tips that accidental leaders need to lead effectively. So often, and we're really going to dive into this today. So I'm actually just going to dive right into today's topic. One of my major pet peeves is how prospective leaders are looked at in organizations. We have this myth or whatever we want to call it through watching TV shows and movies and different things that show what leaders are. And we think the leaders have to be, hard-hitting type A's, or if you know the DISC profile, they have to be strong D's in the DISC profile, that they're aggressive, they're assertive, they push, big motivational speeches, all those things. And the reality is that they can be leaders that have those characteristics, but you don't need to have those characteristics to lead. Leadership really starts with the belief that you have what it takes to lead. So much of leadership is mindset. And we're going to talk today about what those essential characteristics of leadership are and what does it take to be a leader. There's no such thing as a born leader. Well, maybe there is, but you don't have to be born a leader. You can grow into it over time. My instincts aren't necessarily to be a leader. I showed that very early on in high school. I was leader. I had a leadership role and I was terrible at it and I was a jerk and it all went to my head. That was not my shining moment of leadership. But leadership is something we can grow into, we can lead, and it doesn't even require a title. One of the most powerful statements I saw was a consultant that was into an organization that I was a part of and talking to kind of a junior level. And one of the people said, well, I just don't have the authority to do it. I don't have the title to do it. And the consultant really leaned into him and said, you don't need a title to be a leader. Leadership is in our mindset. It's in our presentation. We lead every day by our example. I don't need to lead. I don't have some compulsion to be in a leadership role. If someone else wants to step in and lead, most of the time, if they're a solid leader, I'm happy to step aside and let it happen. But when called to leadership, we have to be prepared to step in. So let's talk about some of the things today that are important for a leadership role. And really the key areas I'm going to focus on in today's Clear Path Leadercast, and always just about 5 to 10 minutes of actionable tips you can use to become a better leader. We're going to talk about leadership mindset. We're going to talk about vision, and we're going to talk about humility. So let's talk first about leadership mindset. What things do you have to have? You'll know you're suited for leadership when you can control your mindset. Self-awareness is a huge asset for leaders. And the three things I want to touch on here when we talk about leadership mindset, and there's a lot of mindset issues to consider when you're in a leadership role. That's why I've so focused on leadership confidence, really helping leaders build the mindset they need to build the team around them they need to be successful and to put the planning tools in place so that they can stay on top of the business as it grows and scales. If you ever want to talk more about how to do that for yourself as a leader, you can just set something up. If you look at the scroll going across the bottom, set up an introductory call, clearpathcoaches.com/intro call. We can jump on the phone, talk through what it might be that you need to work on to help you grow as a leader. Again, clearpathcoaches.com/intro call. So leadership mindset, the first key piece of a leadership mindset is to have belief in a goal. One of our key priorities as a leader is to set the vision and set the goal for the business. And, we act from faith that we can achieve that goal, and we need to communicate that faith. First, we have to believe it, and we have to believe it so deeply that confidence moves out and moves down, flows from us into the team around us. People need to believe that there is a goal and that goal that we have is worth achieving. And that goal is whether or not, you're in some not-for-profit that's changing the world, or if you're selling, air conditioners, whatever it is that you're doing, you have to have faith that the goal we have set forth is worth achieving for all of us. And that it's not only worth achieving, but that we can accomplish it if we work together and pull together as a team. And then when we arrive at that destination, it's going to be a better world for us, for our clients, for our stakeholders, for our families, because all of us will win when we achieve that goal. So we have to start with a strongly held belief in the goal. The second piece is you have to carry a lot of weight as a leader. Somebody said to me once, the difference in leadership is you can carry the weight and the burden of leadership better than other people. And I don't think we always realize as we step into leadership roles what it what it means to take on responsibility for a lot of people. It weighs heavily on leaders that you are carrying the decisions you make and the decisions that you approve and the directions you set have weight, because you are now carrying the weight of all the people whose livelihoods are, and their businesses that you're serving are dependent upon you and what you decided. So you are carrying the weight of all those expectations, all that potential. And if it doesn't go well, you're carrying the weight of not only your failure, but their failure. So you really have to be able to carry the weight more than other people to be a great leader. So we need to support our team. We need to lift them up when the effort is challenging. And we need to realize that we're carrying that for the whole team. And the example we set is the example that they will follow. So if we are filled with anxiety and we are unsure, our teams will be filled with anxiety and be unsure. When we are confident, we are positive, when we know that even though we run into challenges, we will push through and succeed, that's going to flow out to our teams too. And then the last thing is that leaders see opportunities that maybe other people don't see. They see those market opportunities, those niches. They learn to look out into the future. So much of a leader's job is looking into the future. Leaders who fail are leaders who are living in the day-to-day. That's not leadership. That's just management. A leader is looking out to 12, 18, 24 months into the future to see what those opportunities are going to be for their business, and to look to say, what do we need to do today to prepare ourselves for that future that they're able to see more so than other people. So those are three of the key leadership mindset pieces that all of us need to think about if we're stepping into that leadership role. The next piece is vision. People who are well suited for leadership are able to see a clear vision of where they want the business to go. And it's so clear and it's so crystallized in their mind. And I'm not just talking about a vision of, we are going to be the number one provider of whatever. I am talking about, we have a clear vision of what our business is going to look like when we're successful, how many employees, how much revenue, how many, what kind of businesses that we're going to serve, what's our geographic market, getting really clear from a vision perspective of what our business will look like in the future. So people know what success looks like. When we can effectively identify that and create and paint that picture in our mind and then communicate that effectively to our teams, they now know what the future looks like and they can make decisions based on that future in the present. So we want to be able to delegate. We want our people to make decisions without us having to weigh on every single decision. That works great when you're small, but when you get big, that falls apart quickly because suddenly you become the problem in getting things done, not the mover of things getting things done. So it's really important that we communicate that vision, because that enables our teams to start making the decisions in the day-to-day that are going to move towards that greater vision for the business. So really get detailed on the vision that you cast for the business so that everybody, and then make sure everybody understands it. Because I'll tell you this, another mistake we make as leaders is we say it once or twice. We have to say it every time. It's how you set the stage for meetings. It's how you set the stage for town halls. Continue to mention that vision, because about the time we're sick of talking about it is when people start hearing it. So it's a crucial piece. And then the last piece I want to talk about is humility. Leadership requires humility, and we have a lot of leaders around us who lack humility. Just a quick story from my own experience. I worked for a large organization, lots of divisions, and a guy and another guy and I were kind of vice presidents. And we went to talk to a guy who was president of a division, and we had a business issue that we needed to get resolved, and we wanted to talk to him about it. And he looked at us and he said, "I am a president. You are vice presidents. You are not at my level. You need to talk to this other person in my team who is a vice president. I will talk to your president if I have to have any conversations about this." That's not leadership. It is definitely not humility. We have to check our egos at the door. If we have a great big ego and we have this great big, initially that may pull a lot of people around us and get a lot of people in our orbit, because people can initially be attracted to that. But over time, what happens is that ego and that lack of humility makes everything about them. And when everything's about them, you're not taking care of your team. And over time, that's going to impact your team, and the team is going to fall apart and not stick with you. So ego eventually and almost always becomes arrogance. And that arrogance means you're not caring for your people. So the humility allows you to get connected with your people, to get information you need from your people to successfully run the business, because ultimately ego becomes insufferable and you will lose the very people you gained through that ego. So those are really the three things that you need to think about: is carrying a leadership mindset, communicating a vision clearly, and effectively for your team, and checking your ego at the door and having humility as a leader. And if you can start with those things, you do have what it takes to be a leader. The world needs good, strong leaders today. Step into those roles. And if you are in a leadership role or considering a leadership role, and you would like to polish yourself so you can have the confidence to be an effective leader, give me a call, reach out to me at clearpathcoaches.com/intro call, and let's talk about how we can help you become the leader you aspire to be. Thanks. Talk to you soon. Bye.